Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Rosefellow Podcast. I am really excited today because I have a special guest, Kambi. Kambi, who's been with us at Rosefellow now since, is it March?
Yeah, March, exactly.
So Kambi handles leasing, development, the fun part of our business, I'd say, and the probably the most challenging and the most important one as well, because we've always said, we can build the sexiest buildings in the world, but if they don't lease, they ain't worth anything. Yeah. Exactly. Kambi, talk to us or take us back for a second. You had a promotion on the table, in Dubai. You had to move there. You had a clear path, and instead you chose uncertainty. You chose a path that led you to Rosefellow. What was going on in your mind?
Yeah, I was really looking for kind of that next chapter of my life. And when I took a step back, and really what I wanted from that chapter was to find a product that I truly believed in, a team that excited me to come to the office and be part of. And what I love to do is to build relationships. So to have a role that allowed me to do that. And when I first stepped into the Rosefellow office, it checked all three boxes right away.
I love that. What was that the moment when you said, this is it? Or was there a moment where you maybe said the opposite? Is this a mistake?
There was never a moment that I said it was a mistake, because I'm a big believer, either you win or you learn. When you take that approach, you can't lose. There's a quote that I absolutely love, that winners are just losers that never stopped. But my adaptation to that is winners are just learners that kept learning.
That's great.
And
wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that one down.
Yeah.
You came into Rosefellow with no pay, no title, no guarantees. Yeah. And if for those that don't understand, you and I knew each other for a long time in past lives, and we stayed friends. And when you had the opportunity to go to Dubai and you had some time, I think, to get your things in order here, sell your house and do whatever you had to do. I remember you called me and said, "Hey, I love what Rosefellow is about. I'd love to understand the business. Can I just shadow you guys at Rosefellow for the next, I think it was 6 weeks or so? Don't pay me. There's nothing that'll cost you. I'm just curious about real estate." One, why real estate, and why Rosefellow?
Yeah, again, one of the things that I absolutely love to do is to learn. And like you mentioned, it was late at night. I was laying in my bed, and I've always had this voice in the back of my head that said real estate. And it comes from curiosity of just driving by buildings and kind of the who, what, where, when, how, and who's in the building, who built the building, how does that kind of come together, who buys the land? And all those questions always go through my mind. And I'm laying there in bed at night. I'm like, wait a minute. I know the two best guys in industrial real estate in Montreal, if not in all of Canada. And I remember just being like, excuse my language, but fuck it. Yeah. I was like, so I sent you a text saying I have a crazy idea. And that idea was exactly that. I wanted to do an internship where I shadow you, Sam, the team, and I get to learn the ins and outs about industrial real estate. How does it all work? How does it come together? And then part two of that was to say thank you. I'm pretty sure I told you I'll either do 1,000 sales calls or clean the toilets, whatever it is, just to say thank you. And you said, I don't know about cleaning the toilets, but I'm pretty sure we can find something for you to do. And it was supposed to be like 2-3 weeks, and that turned into like 6 weeks. And it was just the first moment I walked into this office, I just felt that energy.
Well, I got to say, what was amazing to me is that you showed up every day at 7 a.m. and you stayed until the lights went out. Nobody asked you to do that. Where does that work ethic come from?
I would say it's two-part. Part one is my father. Just him coming to this country at 15 years old with literally a couple bucks in his pocket and just working for everything that he ever got. And part two is part two is a little bit longer. One is one of my elementary teachers told me I would never amount to anything.
I love that because the same thing happened to me, but go on.
I carry that with me every single day, and everything I do is I hear her voice saying, you'll never amount to anything. And that drive just like sparks something in me. And then it's just the kind of carrying on. A lot of people will say, you can't do that. You can't do this. And they're really just projecting their own insecurities onto you. And for me, that's yours. It's not mine. If I believe that I can do something, I put my head down and I just go. And again, another one of my favorite quotes is, hard work will always be talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Absolutely.
So you might be number one right now, but you're doing 9 to 5. Perfect. I'm going to do 7 to 7. I'm going to do 7 to 12. I'm not only going to pass you, but I'm going to just keep going where I'm going to leave you in the dust.
My opinion is, I think sports play a huge role in this as well. You know, I grew up playing basketball, and you know, the discipline we incurred from our coach to kind of show up and practice like an animal. And when you lose, it was, let me tell you, the practices were even tougher. I know you're an athlete as well. Yep. Do you find sports played a role in your work ethic?
100%. It gives you the structure, and I think individual sports are great, but team sports of not letting your teammates down and understanding that everyone has a specific role. And that's where championship teams are made. It's not because you're not scoring 20 points that you don't have a specific role on the team. And sports just has a huge way of, you know, time management. Everything that you do is around winning or planning to win. And one of my best friends has this beautiful thing. He's an assistant coach at a university in the States. And he always asks his players, do you like basketball? Do you love basketball? Or do you live basketball? And the ones that like basketball they're tall, you know, girls think it's cool, so they do it. The ones that love it, you know, they're pretty good, so they get recognized. They're like, cool, this works. But the ones that live it are the ones that go to bed because they know they need to wake up at a certain time. The way they eat, the way they train, the way they study, everything in their lives is around basketball, just as an example, but that's what sports does. And everything that I do around my life is around the things that I love. And I absolutely love Rosefellow and growing and building. And yeah,
it's impressive because you said that, you know, you live basketball in that example. And I know you're extremely disciplined in everything you do. You know, we have a lot of similarities in the sense that we both get up at crazy hours in the morning. You jog like I can't even, you know, it's a kind of a David Goggins type of routine that you have, which is insane. It's impressive. You know, you don't drink as well, which is you know, something I believe in to get rid of that brain fog. It's impressive. Again, it goes back to, you know, having the right type of discipline, or having crazy amounts of discipline is what will lead to people's success. If I were to move on to a story. And I'd love to hear your version of it because it impressed me. You know, after several weeks and just before you were supposed to leave to Dubai, because we never heard of any change in your plans. It was always, this is what's happening, I'm going to Dubai. You asked for a boardroom meeting and pitched why we should hire you. You know, most people wouldn't do that. Why did you take that approach? Because we walked into that boardroom meeting and initially the invite to myself and Sam and two other executives, John and Chris, was, guys, I want to sit you down and show you some things I think you can improve in the business, and I'll tell you the why. Oh, so we got in it because we're always we're always open to new ideas, and we sat down with that mindset, and then you threw us a curveball, a positive one. Yeah. But it was something we didn't expect. So tell me where that idea came from.
I took the approach of why you can not hire me, what you would be missing if I walked out that door and took that opportunity, and I took a step back, and I spent a couple weeks here, and I did what's called a SWOT analysis, where I looked at what you guys are doing extremely well, what I believed you were missing the mark on, and what I felt I could bring to the table and help kind of plug those holes. And I think that 30-minute meeting turned into 2.5 hours of just a beautiful conversation. It was a presentation that I loved to turn into a conversation. That's what it became.
Were you nervous?
Absolutely. Yeah. But I also believe you fall to your level that you prepared. Mm-hmm. And I was prepared for that meeting.
Oh, I can tell.
I think I had maybe 72 hours or something to prepare. I pitched it to my friends.
I love that.
I did it in the car.
I had no idea that you did this.
Yeah. But again, you fall to the level of your preparation.
Yeah.
So if you just believe you're just going to show up and just wing it, well, you're going to fall to winging it.
I got to tell you, I never told you this, but when you finished the presentation, we were all grateful and obviously shocked and happy. And then we asked you to leave the boardroom. So we closed the door. It was myself, Sam, Chris, and John. And we just looked at each other and we said, you know, I fucking love that. The passion, the work ethic, what you did, that I've never had anybody do that to me. And for us, it wasn't even a thought or a question. We all just looked at each other and said, this is absolutely someone that bleeds pink that we need to have at Rosefellow. And you didn't have the experience in real estate. You had no experience, but your willingness to learn and your passion for it and work ethics, we said this can easily be taught. We honestly thought you were crazy for turning down Dubai. Looking back now, how do you think about risk? How do you look at risk?
Calculated risk is what I like to say. But it's when I jump 2 feet in, and there's no plan B. Because if you have a plan B, then are you really going 100%? Are you really focused on what you need to do? And for me, it was a calculated risk. It was, I believe that I could bring value to the team. I believe that the team could also in return help me grow and learn and become, the number one person in real estate and leasing. And that's what I want to be is number one.
What you've done in the last, call it March to now we're January, and the last 9 months is amazing. I mean, we'll get into that in a second and how you've got your name out there. But, I want to first start about, the beginning. You walked into industrial real estate with zero background in real estate, as I said. What was the hardest part of that transition, going from the field you're in to real estate?
The confidence of just knowing that I belong in the room. And that took a little bit of time. It took a little bit of, watching Sam, being with the team, listening to how people speak and how they answer and the terminology that they use. But at the end of the day, sales is sales. And I'm a big believer it's human to human. And whoever's buying wants to be heard and has usually challenges or problems they need solved. So if you listen and you offer a solution for their problems, then it just organically, naturally comes together.
I remember you telling me a story. There was this one had this executive who handled real estate for an international type company, and you found out that they were looking for space, and you reached out to him. I think it was through LinkedIn. Never got a response. I
always believe, again, in 6 degrees of separation, everyone's connected somehow. Everyone's on social media and their mothers. Yeah. And I always say everyone needs space. It's just a matter of what kind of space, how much, and when, right? So that specific story was just, I knew the person just had an interest in basketball. And I linked him in, I cold called him, I emailed him multiple times, and eventually I just used basketball as just a segue, just saying like, hey, I'm a fan, you're a fan, we just love just to just chat. And that's what just sparked it wasn't just the real estate thing, it was just like this individual has a passion for basketball and so do I, and that was the natural connection.
I love that. What surprised you the most about this industry that we're in?
That it's super open and super welcoming. It was one of those things that, the first event I went to, I think it was like the second or third day I was at Rosefellow. It was a building tour that we were hosting. And I knew one person in that, there's probably 50 or so people in that room. And I knew one person from my previous life. And this past, holiday season, I've gone to a lot of different events and I probably know half the room, if not more, of people. And it's just how welcoming everybody has been and how willing they're or open to share, their experiences and their thoughts and their passion and their kind of path through real estate. And I would say 90% of people didn't start in real estate. They either fell into it or came into it some way. And everyone has a unique path, which I just love to learn.
I love that. Hey, Kambi. People talk to me. I've gotten people who called me and said, "Hey, I love your AI," and I said, "What AI?" Yeah, your Hey Kambi. It's a computer generated person, right? It's resonated so well. I have such positive feedback. Nobody asked you to create Hey Kambi on social media. You just did. Yeah. Tell me why. How did that idea come about?
One, I knew that I needed to make a name for myself, and Rosefellow has an incredible social presence. I'm actually a very private person in my own life. But I knew that, one, everybody is on social media.
That's right.
And again, everyone needs space, just a matter of what kind of space, how much space, and when. And the best way to get myself out there was using the social platform that we have available.
Were you surprised at how fast your name spread?
A little bit, yeah. But again, it's Rosefellow has an incredible social presence already, that it was just organically.
Yeah, but that was you. Yeah. That's the difference. Yeah. I've gone places Even at the gym where there's a lot of the people in our real estate community that go to the same gym, and they're like, hey, I love what Kambi's doing. I just saw that video. That's great. Hey, by the way, that building, is it available? Hey, how do I get in touch with Kambi? I want to go for lunch and pick his brain. What would take people years to do to get their name out there, you've done in a few months. It's really, really impressive. And again, no one here gave you that idea.
Yeah, it actually came from, so when I was doing the tours with tenants or potential tenants, and you would have somebody there from finance, you'd have someone from operations, you'd have logistics. Everybody knew their part of the building, why the clear height was important, or the column span, or the slab thickness, or LEED and carbon zero, why that was important. But I felt that not everybody was on the same page. And the Hey series isn't really for real estate brokers per se, because more or less they know that stuff. But it was really for the end tenant to really help them educate on these quick little 20-second clips to help them educate on why it's important to have high clear height or carbon zero LEED certified, the properties that we build and what value that actually brings to them.
It's, I'm telling you, we're super proud of it. I tune in because I know nothing about it. It goes out. People will see it the same. I'll see it the same time others do, and I enjoy it as well. I smile every time. So in under a year, people in real estate know your name. You've done deals. What does that feel like today?
That I'm just getting started.
I love that.
It's really like, it's even with the team. Like when there's a win, we celebrate, we high five, but then it's next.
Yeah. Do you think that's an issue? Because we've, Sam and I have asked ourselves that same question every time. We're like, we don't celebrate the wins. We will give ourselves a high five. We actually bought a bell in the office now. We ring a bell. Yep. But 2 minutes later, it's back to business. Do you see that as an issue? Do you
Absolutely
think
not. It's because we're hungry.
Yeah.
Everyone in this office is hungry for knowledge, for the next thing, and it's great to celebrate. And we do. We acknowledge it. We high five. We ring the bell. But everyone's like, all right, what's next?
I always believe this may be the only deal on the table. We have to win. What can we do? And there's never, and I think I've said this to you many, many times, there's never a budget that we put in place. If we have to win, do whatever it takes. And if that's creating a special video for a client, a special presentation kit, a 3D model, whatever it takes to get us to the finish line, to outshine and outperform everyone else, and to really show people what we're about, let's do it. Yep. Let's not cut corners.
And that's what I absolutely love. Again, and one of the reasons that I love being here is the creativity. That there's no crazy idea. There's no we just get super creative with the way we structure deals, the way that we approach deals, and that's exciting because every day is different.
What I love about our company, what we've built is you said creativity. I love marketing. It's something that I'm passionate about. I spend a lot of time with Justin and his team at Caterham Films thinking of new ideas to promote ourselves and get Rosefellow out there, and not just to lease buildings, just to convey a positive message to those thinking about getting into a certain industry, not necessarily real estate. And people always say, oh, your podcasts are so amazing, that's so creative. But what they don't see is what happens behind the scenes. What I'm amazed about is how creative Sam is with numbers. I've never seen someone, he's like a human calculator, look at a pro forma and how he can do financial gymnastics to make deals happen. People don't see that from behind the scenes, and it's and I'm gonna give a shout out to Sam. It's amazing because I've been around a lot of people in this industry, and for him to do what he does. And he's okay with not getting the pat on the back because not everybody sees that. Yep. But it's one of the most important reasons, or how the ammunition you need to get deals done.
Absolutely.
Because I've heard it from clients. I know they've called me after they called you saying, Kambi came out with this incredible idea on how we can get this deal past the finish line. And we always said it's a team effort, right? And you said you resonate that with the clients. It's incredible that it's not just branding and marketing that makes Rosefellow who it is. It's everything that happens behind the scenes that people don't see.
It's thinking outside the box, it's getting creative.
Yeah.
And I overnight success takes 12 years.
Yes.
And it's one of those things that people don't see the hard work that goes into it. They don't see the late nights. They just see the success. Yeah. But there's tremendous amount of hard work, that sweat, blood, and tears.
What would you say, what kind of people actually thrive here?
I touched on it a little bit. Hungry.
Yeah.
People that love to learn. it's one of those things that's, just because it's been done a certain way doesn't mean we need to do it that way. I think that's one of the most dangerous things in business is getting comfortable with the way that you're doing something.
Absolutely.
Because then not only are your competition going to pass you, but you're going to just stale and probably die, right? Yeah. Where every day we're looking at things, everything that we do. Is this the right way to do it? Is there a better way to do it? Can we improve a little bit of and it's from finding sites to the way that we run a performance to closing deals. Everything's looked at constantly. And that's what I absolutely love. And that's a team effort. It's not just on the sales department or the marketing or finance. It's everyone comes together and is always looking for how can we believe in better? How can we do better?
It's that non-silo approach that we have.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about everything in the office.
Absolutely.
There's not there's never perception of, oh no, that's not your department. You don't need to be part of it. If someone is listening who feels behind because they're entering an industry late and they're unsure, what would you tell that person?
The average millionaire is made at between 56 and 60 years old. It's never too late to start. I think the biggest regret is having regrets when you're on your deathbed if you get to the end.
I love that because that's exactly, I tell everyone that. What when they ask me, what is your biggest fear? It's exactly that. Having regrets. Yeah. Getting to a part of your life or getting to an age when it's too late, and and you look back and say, I should have done this. That for me is what drives me every day, to take that risk, in new markets and new types of buildings and everything we do and the team that we have. It is exactly that.
And it's jumping with 2 feet.
Yeah.
It's if you have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you got to just jump in. No plan B. You only have a plan A and you're going to make it work.
I love that.
Yeah.
We both came into real estate knowing nothing, relying purely on work ethic.
Yeah.
Do you think hunger matters more than experience?
1,000%.
Yeah.
I
agree.
You cannot teach hunger. You can teach skills. You can learn new things, skill sets, but that hunger has to come within. You have to have that drive, and whatever that drive is for you, you just have to have it. For me, I hold on to a couple things that happened to me throughout my life, of just wanting to prove people wrong, but also wanting to prove myself that I can do it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I think it's fundamental. You keep bringing it up, and I so agree. For myself, there is certain parts of my life that create anger, but it drives me to prove myself and those people or those comments wrong.
Yep.
That I can, and I would put a path in place to achieve those goals that I had. Sometimes it's a lot more difficult than others, and sometimes it's a lot riskier than others. But because of it, I can never say, well, I let someone tell me what I can or can't do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. One of the things that I do is I do not negotiate with myself. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm doing it. So it's as simple as if I say I'm going for a run today, and it's 11 o'clock at night and I haven't ran. Well,
make it a non-negotiable, right?
Yeah. Guess who's going for a run at 11 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
It's me, because I said I was going to go for a run, and it doesn't matter on the weather or whatever it may be. It's if I said I'm running, I'm running.
I love it because I do the same thing, and I sometimes you just don't feel like it, and I think to myself at that moment, what am I going to feel like tonight?
But don't
going to bed, and it could be as simple as not going for a workout. I'm gonna feel lousy. I'm going to feel shitty. I'm going to have regret. So I do it, and that's where I say discipline outperforms motivation every time.
Every time.
Because you can sometimes not be motivated, but having that discipline, say, you know what, I'm going to go either way. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And you may think to yourself that it's not the best workout if you're training, and it ends up being the ultimate.
Best workout. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's whenever you don't want to do it is when it always becomes that best one.
If we're to look ahead into 2026, what excites you most about what we're doing and what's to come?
There are no limits. That's what I love. It's that we're taking over the greater Montreal area. We're moving into the Ottawa region. We're going to continue to grow across Canada. And then we have south to head down to. And there's literally no limits. It's, we have 16 million plus square feet in our portfolio right now of leasable space. We want to double that in the next couple of years. There's no limits to it.
I love that, and I appreciate that. And people often ask me, where does the territory start and where does it finish? Is it Montreal? Is it Ottawa? Is it across Canada? And I tell them all the time, there is no limits. what we do here, we can do in Vancouver, we can do in Arizona, because we're data driven, and like you said, we're not, we have no limits. When we see an opportunity, no matter where it lies, we're going to go after it. And there's been times where we've, thought we had the best opportunity, and it turned out to not be. But that's okay, because we bet on ourselves, and sometimes the data just doesn't prove to be right, and that's okay. And I think that as well is an important one too. It's good to listen to your gut and follow your gut, but sometimes the data may tell you, buddy, it's not as pretty as you think it is. Yeah. You think about it twice.
That's where it goes back to winners learn. Yeah. You continue to learn, and a deal might not be the best one that we've ever made, but we're going to learn from that, and we're going to continue to move on. And then eventually that deal will become a win.
I got to tell you, Kambi, it's been an incredible 9-month journey. It's, I'm sure challenging for you, coming into an industry that's completely different from what you're used to. Sometimes probably being in meetings saying, what are they talking about? But the way you've adapted, matured, and learned, and you're a human sponge, is so impressive. I laughed one day. I'm going off track here, but I went into John's office, and he's looking over a lease, and you're sitting there looking over the lease as well, and at that stage of your career in Rosefellow, is probably something you could have done 6 months from now, but you wanted to learn every aspect of the business. And I think that's what's making you great. That's what's catapulted you so quickly in the last couple of months. It's humbling to see. It's for me, I mean, the most humbling thing was just, you made a decision to leave a path that was going to lead you to Dubai, and live in an incredible place. And, we're in January in Montreal here, and it's minus 20 outside, and there's snow everywhere, and it's just miserable. And you chose Rosefellow instead of that path, full risk. And I'm happy you did, because you're such a value to us. And I said at the beginning, you bleed pink, but more so, the culture we've instilled in Rosefellow. You kind of came into it so perfectly, and you're that it's like a puzzle, and you're another piece that we didn't even know we needed, but now that you're here, we're like, how can we live without it? Yeah. So thank you for making that decision, for taking literally the leap of faith on Rosefellow, on us. Any final thoughts before we close it up?
Just to finish on that. That starts at the top. That's you and Sam. You guys set the pace, the beat. You are, the energy of this office. And it's hard to explain, but when you walk into this office, you feel it. You feel the energy, the aura. It's like the team, and that starts at the top. And it's, as much as you thank me, I thank you guys for taking, a risk on me of this guy that knew nothing about real estate and just had a passion to learn and taking the risk. And I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you to everyone who tuned in. Kambi's an inspiration to me and all of us here at Rosefellow. Thank you, Kambi. And to all those listening in, if you have any questions, comments, feel free to reach out to us. We encourage everyone to subscribe and share the episodes and follow Rosefellow on social media. So again, thank you very much, and have a great 2026.